I think I've got the video sort of aimed right. I have it jury-rigged to my lamp, which is not exactly where I normally would have my lamp, but I've got the iPhone jury-rigged to the lamp, and thought I'll show you how I do. Had a few requests. I've had a few requests on how I stitch so fast. So I thought I'll show you how I thread my needle. I use the fold and poke method. I don't lick or stick or use a threader. So basically, my aunt taught me this, I think when I was about 7 or 8. Excuse my cuticles, stress. Anyway, so basically you get your needle and you fold your thread over the eye, hold it flat. You don't have to squeeze too tight, we just pull it through. You can't see it, but I know where it is, I can feel it. And basically you just slide your needle down and it goes through. So I can thread without looking. It gets a bit tricky if you've got a small needle with too many threads or using Krennic or whatever, but you can usually make it work with most things. You just fold and, oh, there you go, it went horribly wrong, didn't it? Fold and poke. So I call it the fold and poke method. I don't know what it's actually called, but that's how I thread my needles. I'm stitching this upside down. You can see a bit of my chart, but it's, you know, this piece of a long dog, and good luck finishing the rest of it. So because I stitch bottom, so basically I stitch sideways. So if I'm stitching from the bottom up, I would be stitching this way, but I'm stitching top down, so I'm stitching upside down. So I've got my chart upside down. My backs aren't too bad, they're a little bit straggly, but I care a little bit about a tidy back, but not so much that I'm gonna worry about it. So I want to do joyful, so I know that I'm going to come down from the S a couple, so I just, you know, 1, 2, I think it's there. I'm going to do 4. I pull it through the back, I just hold it, and usually I stitch over it, and I stitch from my right side towards my left side, so I'm stitching sideways, but I'm actually going across because I'm not stitching this way. I stitch sideways because it's much more natural for me to stitch like this. And I basically just use the sewing method and I stitch sideways. I'll do a row, come back, and then I will sort of show you at the back what's happening with my finger. So I have this rolled, so mostly I'm only using my thumbs on the fabric on the front. Hopefully this is working, but we'll see. So you can see how I've just, because I've held it with my finger, I've caught it all the way along, just through feel really. So basically I then, where am I going? Find the next spot. So basically my thumb helps kind of curve it a little bit, which helps with the sewing method, because obviously you're wanting to do a scoop to come up rather than having to do the stab and pull. So, and behind there, my finger is here. So basically you do get a bit of a callus, but you're basically feeling when it comes through there to kind of guide it through. Where am I? La la la. So I'm just pulling that through, and I'm going to go down to the next one, and I'm going to do 5. So I'm just do 5. Obviously if I was doing variegated thread, I'd be doing full X's. And now I've got like a little 2 that I need to come. So basically I need to do this one and this one, so I'm just going to go like this, come up there, finish this little 2 off. I'm having to hold this a little bit away from me, it's a little bit awkward. And I'll finish my 5. And basically when I'm pulling this up, I'm using this finger this to help the tension. So I'm just pulling gently with my little finger as I come through so that I'm not having to pull it. Now, because I want to come over here, I'm just going to run it, rather than carry, I'm just going to run it under a couple, just to keep it a little bit tidier. And then I'm going to come down here and carry on with my little F. Basically, this is how I stitch fast. Keep in mind, I've been doing this for a really, really long time, and I've stitched a gazillion X's this way, and this is how I taught myself. So I've tried occasionally to stitch differently, and when I'm doing like a high count fabric, I stitch like if I'm doing 1/1 on 28, I don't do the sewing method. I do that and I'd go down and pull it through. Otherwise you get slippage and stuff. It's a little bit slower, but you know, I still get pretty fast. So basically I just working my way. The fact that it's upside down doesn't worry me because I'm stitching the X's that I see. I'm not stitching, like I know this is an F, but I don't care that it's an F. I'm just stitching 3 stitches in a row. Like if you don't worry about trying to stitch what the thing is, but just worry about stitching the X's, then it's no worries. And yeah, I just glance at my pattern. I'm pretty visual. I have good spatial awareness, so I can usually see roughly where I have to go. And when you're doing like long bits and stuff, you know, I count twice and then before I get too carried away. That being said, I did have to do a bit of frogging on this the other day. The irony being, once I stitched the frog, that was fine, but when I was working my way down here, I was 1 strand off in here, and then when I got all the way around here, so I stitched all of this path before I realized I was 1 strand off, so I had to unpick all that. I was like, curse. Anyway, I carried on back again, fixed up because I was 1 short, back around here, and then I got this wrong, and I missed 2 rows out here, and I started stitching going, oh, you know, more, and I could kind of tell because it should have been lower than these unpicked threads here, and it was higher, and I was like, what? So I had to unpick it back to here. It was like, bloody hell. Anyway, I finally got it done. So after the frog visited, after the literal frog visited, I have the figurative frog. I can't even say it. Trying to be funny, and it failed. Anyway, so then, yeah. So pretty much that is how I stitch. It's my sewing method, and I basically always stitch. So essentially the piece is always sideways unless I'm doing back stitching. Of course you're moving around constantly, and I always roll, and only my thumb is touching, and I finish it off, and that is the F done. Whoop whoop. Yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully this video worked.